In Ha Jin's 2002 novel The Crazed, the narrative revolves around the intricate relationship between a graduate student and his aging advisor, set against the backdrop of pre-Tiananmen Square, China. Drawing from his own experiences, Chinese expatriate Ha Jin weaves a tale of uncertainty as the professor's sanity unravels following a debilitating stroke. In the provincial city of Shanning, China, Professor Yang suffers a stroke that leaves him isolated in the hospital. With his family distant, Jian Wan, one of his students and engaged to Yang's daughter Mimi, takes on the responsibility of caring for the ailing professor. However, this duty becomes a burden as Jian struggles to balance his hospital visits with the preparation for a crucial exam that could lead to his dream of becoming a pediatrician in Beijing. As Jian listens to Yang's erratic and convoluted monologues, he grapples with the question of whether the professor's words hold hidden truths or are simply the ramblings of a troubled mind. The boundaries between reality and delusion blur, making it difficult for Jian to discern the real intentions behind Yang's words. Caught between his academic ambitions, the desire to please his fiancée, and the unpredictable nature of his mentor, Jian finds himself immersed in an ever-shifting reality that puts him in a precarious position. The novel delves into the complexities of human relationships, the impact of illness on the mind, and the changing political landscape of China during that tumultuous time. As the story unfolds, Jian's perception of his country undergoes significant changes, leading him on a path that may expose him to unforeseen dangers. Amidst the other students' indifference to Professor Yang's ramblings, Jian finds himself captivated and perplexed by the words he hears. One of Yang's most memorable monologues revolves around the government, where he passionately denounces anyone opposing Chairman Mao Zedong as a traitor, yet confesses to squandering his life serving a totalitarian regime rather than pursuing true scholarship and exposing the truth. Yang's beliefs remain enigmatic until Jian links the conflicting pro- and anti-communist speeches with the professor's accounts of his personal life. Despite being engaged to Mimi, Jian discovers that Yang has a secret infatuation with another graduate student, Wei Yasu. As Jian tends to Yang, the professor rhapsodizes about the young woman's alluring physique, unaware that the woman he admires is actually Wei Ya herself. It becomes evident that Yang has been involved in an affair with Wei Ya while his estranged wife resides in Tibet. One day, when Wei Ya offers Yang out-of-season watermelon and feeds it to him by hand, the professor starts making wild promises about their future together in the afterlife. In his delusion, Yang envisions a world where he can abandon his love for poetry and academic pursuits to embrace honest labor, possibly farming, or other physically demanding work. This starkly contradicts his previous passionate defense of Dante's The Divine Comedy, a poem that Yang regarded as a source of comfort. As these revelations unfold, Jian begins to understand the truth about Yang's past. During the Cultural Revolution in the late 1960s, when intellectualism and tradition faced brutal purges, Professor Yang was labeled a demon monster and sent to a re-education camp, an experience that continues to haunt his present state of mind. In this tumultuous environment of conflicting ideologies and personal struggles, Jian grapples with the complexity of his advisor's mind and the broader impact of historical events on individual lives. The Crazed weaves a compelling narrative of human frailty, political turmoil, and the enduring quest for truth and meaning amidst chaos. During his time at the re-education camp, Professor Yang endured humiliation and torture, a brutal experience that scarred him deeply. This trauma affected his personal life, leading to the estrangement of his wife, who sought solace in the arms of another man. Now confined to the hospital, Yang's mind is filled with the indoctrination of the Cultural Revolution, a belief system that was forcibly instilled in him. Despite attempting to suppress it for 2 decades, the profound impact of the past still haunts him. In the final chapters of the novel, the story's focus shifts away from the hospital, and the narrative takes on a more dynamic and action-packed tone. As Jian receives letters from Mimi, describing the growing revolutionary sentiment among students in Beijing and the imminent clash with government forces, he feels an irresistible pull towards the capital city. Although he tries to convince himself that his motives are personal rather than abstract, driven by desperation, anger, madness, and recklessness, Jian finds himself drawn to Tiananmen Square. In the midst of escalating tension, Jian arrives at the square just before the outbreak of riots, only to witness a brutal crackdown by the authorities. Faced with threatening officers, he finds himself caught in the heart of the massacre, torn between a desire to appear brave for Mimi and an internal struggle to assert his free will. The novel concludes with an ambiguous ending, as the soldiers open fire, leaving the fate of the characters uncertain and the implications of the massacre reverberating through the nation. The Crazed artfully explores the lasting impact of political upheaval on personal lives, weaving together themes of love, sacrifice, and the indomitable human spirit amidst a backdrop of turbulent historical events. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.